Brassicas, the kings of cold weather that lets temperate gardeners be productive nearly year-round.
And kale is on the top of that list.
A cold climate miracle plant allowing us to grow and harvest amazing nutritious greens, while all other crops have simply called it quits.
Hi, I'm Jeff from the Ripe Tomato Farms. Welcome back to another episode of the Garden Quickie, the show where in 2 minutes or less, we'll never call it quits.
And today's episode is all about that kale. More specifically, when is the best time to plant it? Speaking of time, it's short as you know it is, so let's dive in.
While of course kale is synonymous with cold weather, it's actually pretty versatile, and the many varieties can flourish across many different climates.
Hot, dry, extreme weather is to be avoided if you want the best harvest, however, so timing our kale planting is going to be key to maximizing this crop. In general, kale has roughly a 3-month life cycle. That is, from seed to a full harvest takes about 90 days.
As many of you know though, the plants will keep going and going after partial harvest, so keep that in mind.
It's not unusual for large varieties of kale, grown in the right conditions, to last upwards of a year. Amazing stuff.
Like we said though, the best harvests happen when the weather is cool. More sugars are sent to the leaves, making them sweeter and tastier the colder it gets.
But, like all plants, for the best results, kale needs to get established before the real inclement weather hits, hot or cold. As such, there are 2 key times to plant your kale during the year for optimal harvesting. For that first spring harvest, plant your conditioned, hardened off kale starts about a month before your last spring frost date, provided the ground is not frozen solid. Basically, as soon as the ground is workable leading into spring, the kale goes in. Now, for that epic autumn harvest, I find it's best to plant your kale 2 months before the first frost in the fall. After that extreme hot weather of the summer, but well before the bitter cold of winter. One side note, it is best to grow these guys from starter plants. Work backwards an extra 4 to 5 weeks if you plan to grow these guys from seed instead to allow for the extra time. Kale is a beauty, and really, you shouldn't miss it.
Just like you shouldn't miss the next episode of the Garden Quickie.
Thanks for watching, guys. And hey, if Garden Quickies are your thing, make sure to subscribe and click on this playlist here as we explore and solve more growing issues in 2 minutes or less.